Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. You should be able to see Breck and I. We will be hosting the webinar today. Thank you for joining us and spending your morning with us here. Just a couple of housekeeping things before we get started. My name is Erin Kopek, and I am the Director of Marketing with HireLevel. We are a staffing, recruiting, and human capital management company. And today you have joined our high notes titled Upskilling and Reskilling in Your Workforce. I did want to remind you that this program this morning is eligible for SHRM credits. So if after those professional development credits and SHRM certified, we will be sending out those credit information within the next 24 hours. So that is another perk of our program. Just to begin momentarily, I will also have Breck Newman, our Senior National Business Development, join us as well. She'll be also co-presenting with me today on this topic. Just a few things before we begin. This will last probably 30 to 45 minutes. We are going to leave a little bit of time for questions. We would definitely hear from you, and if there's something you want us to expand upon, we can do that after the presentation. We'll be taking questions. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get started. Breck, I pass it off to you, and thanks again.
Yeah, absolutely. So welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. Like Erin said, my name is Breck Newman, and I'm a Senior National Business Development with HireLevel. I've been with the company for 5 years. So looking forward to talking a little bit more about upskilling and reskilling our workforce. So if you remember, in one of the initial invites that was sent out, there was an article included that talks about how Amazon is doing this at every level of their organization. So, our thoughts are, if Amazon's doing this, how else, including us, can we do it as well? So we can still compete for top talent without being an Amazon or a Lowe's. So we just have to be creative and think outside the box.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. I know, especially this day and age, we are really hit with these bigger companies wanting to upskill their teams and continue training. So we will talk a lot more about that this morning and kind of give you some tactical things to take back to your company, to your teams, to actually put some of these practices into play. So kind of before we begin, the reason we picked this topic today, it's very relevant, internal with the HireLevel team, but we also have found this conversation of upskilling, training, kind of the challenges for recruiting. This is a common conversation that we're also having with our clients. So we wanted to kind of extend our expertise and what we're learning out in the field to help, strategize. So some of the things that we're working with our clients on, is obviously the fact that it's more challenging to recruit and how to overcome those challenges. And we'll talk about that today. A smaller workforce pool, that doesn't help anyone, so that increases the challenge. And then, in today's workforce with the new technologies, automation, really the change in how we all do our work, whether it's behind a computer, in an office, or in more of a warehouse setting, it's pretty specific on the new changes within the skill sets that are required in today's workforce. So some specifics that HireLevel is focusing on, these changes in the workforce, really engaging our candidates and how to, get them excited about the positions that are available. Keeping candidates obviously is a big thing for us, and I'm sure you all on the call, and then training and upskilling, because as we know, it is easier to train your current staff that are familiar with your company, and continue to grow them and grow their career. And that's kind of what people want as well. So I do a lot of reading. One of the publications that I read is from the American Staffing Association, which is a great industry resource for us. And they actually just rolled out their 2019 economic analysis last week. So it was actually a great timing for this presentation, because I was able to have some great takeaways. So I do want to share some of those with you today, as well as, real world examples of how you could utilize this. So just a few stats before we kind of dig deeper in the information. So as everyone knows, the unemployment is really at an all-time low. The rate of unemployment not only has returned to its pre-recession level, it has also hit a low not seen in 50 years, so since 1969. After reaching a 26-year high of 10% in 2009, the unemployment rate began to go downward and on the downward trend. By the end of 2015, it has descended to 5%, which is equivalent to the start of the recession. In 2016, the unemployment rate began fluctuating approximately 4 to 5%, and then currently for the month of September of 2019, it's at 3.5%, which again, it has not been this low since December of 1969. So that's really eye-opening and really kind of astounding of where it's going to be headed into 2020.
Absolutely. So really some takeaways that everybody will find from our chat today is that some may think a low unemployment rate would seem to be good news for the economy, but if it's declining because fewer people want to work, they're engaged and sitting on the sidelines of our labor force, or they're dropping out of the workforce for any other reason, really, it's really not the greatest thing. So what this means for us as employers is that if people are applying for jobs and they're saying they want to work for us, then we need to invest in these people, keep them super engaged so we don't lose them to other employers who are either faster, can offer different things. If they're coming to us, we have to just pounce on the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Candidates are, they want good communication right now. They want a quick hiring process. They are getting offers. That's what we have found, and everybody's kind of looking for the next best thing. And there are a lot of job opportunities out there, so definitely something to keep in mind. One thing that has attributed to the stagnant participation rate in the labor market is just, I guess, the changing needs of the employees and kind of what they're looking for. So we have found with research and just dealing with a large group of individuals that we help place for jobs that people are simply dropping out of the labor pool because they are just discouraged with the availability of what positions are out there, unable to find more period just due to their skill set, deciding that they can make more off of government benefits, and then a lot of other people are not seeing the value of continuing with the workforce, and they're actually pursuing further education because the employers that they are working with are not providing them opportunities for career advancement and growth. So this really means for all of us, staffing companies, other employers, anybody hiring across the board, that we have to get creative and know how to source qualified talent and keep that talent through upskilling and training from within.
Absolutely. So Erin, let's switch gears on some other facts too, before we get into how to combat this challenge and how HireLevel can help, of course, do this as well. So when we think about the skills that are most desired by current employers in the highest demand positions, our research is really showing certain skill sets that this is really impacting. So towards the top of the list is skilled trades. They're high up on this list, such as electrical skills, machine operators, design, maintenance workers. These are all super high demand, and the work is changing. So of course, at probably the very top of the list is technology and computer science. So these are software developers, coders, accounting positions even. And then another one that we found too is home health and personal care aides. It's a tough job. And then this one I find really interesting too is distribution. So think online shopping. This affects the warehouse and like we said, distribution of those products. So those are material handlers, warehouse folks, freight, production, heavy truck drivers, those types of things. So as our buying habits have changed and we use sites like Amazon and Target to do our shopping online, that is engaging the workforce in this distribution and logistics field. So I think I know about you, Erin, but not sure. But I order something from Amazon and Target right off my phone, probably more than once a week. So
yeah, they make it too easy. So I
yeah,
feel like that's definitely a growing market.
absolutely. So anyways, these positions, along with many others, are becoming harder and harder to fill with truly quality candidates.
Absolutely. So really, let's jump into why it's hard to fill the positions and ways to combat that. Obviously, we want to provide you some key takeaways today on things that we do as a company, how we advise our clients to do this as well. So recruiting in 2020 is, not going to get any better. Unfortunately, for all employers, it's going to become more competitive because you have to get creative. So we'll talk about ways today to get creative with your benefits, kind of cut through the clutter. Everyone has job ads out there posting for, the next best job, a great career change, but you're going to have to take it up a notch to be competitive. And obviously, it's going to make it even more challenging due to the lack of the skilled candidates and high quality candidates. So that's going to be even more of a reason to adopt a upskilling or a training program within your company to be able to really upskill your current workforce that are currently familiar with your company and working hard every day. It's truly a great investment. So a candidate-driven market, some of you may be familiar really what that means, and truly the candidates have the choice. We have candidates that are, more comfortable of setting their pay rate, asking for raises because they know their skills are valuable. And people are also leaving their roles for better opportunities out there, as these skilled individuals are getting recruited by other recruiting companies or, recruited by other companies that see the value in their skills, they're moving on. So definitely something to keep in mind is not only is recruiting going to be a challenge in finding these candidates, but also keeping candidates with your company. You'll have to, give some effort to that.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing this at like every level, no matter if it's warehouse folks or high professional at higher level, we see the competition all over the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And because things are so competitive and moving so quickly, a lot of business owners, on some of the research that we've done and people that we've talked to, 20 to 50% of applicants are, not showing up to interviews or kind of ghosting the hiring process. And that's really due to the lag time between, recruiting and interviewing and accepting a resume and, making an offer. We see a lot of times, with our clients and people that we work with is that sometimes the turnaround time is not very quick. So we'll talk more today too about increasing your time to fill so those candidates aren't receiving an offer and moving on, especially those people that you really like. That will be if you are recruiting in a morely highly skilled or specialized workforce, like I said again, they are being bombarded with opportunities. There are jobs available out there, so you just have to keep that in mind. It's all about recruiting and retention, and that should be your theme for 2020. So some tips to combat the candidate-driven market and to continue to retain your candidates. Upskilling and training programs are going to be a huge piece of this. But before you adopt those programs, there's some groundwork to be done. So when you're developing job descriptions or whatever recruiting platforms that you use or companies that you work with, you're going to have to pull out your company values and your company culture. It's not just a job title anymore. It's not just listing the requirements and really the necessary skills for the job. Candidates want to be influenced by benefits, perks, pay rates, and their influence across all categories. So, more than ever, we are using and talking to our clients about making sure you have a digital advertising strategy for your positions. You really can't post and pray anymore. You truly have to have kind of a integrated approach to digital marketing and using social media to your advantage, making your career side is like what it needs to be and user friendly so people can apply quickly. That's so looking at mobile friendly, and also a big piece that I think sometimes gets left off is candidates are really looking at company reviews. So having some type of review management program or someone within your company that can kind of manage that reputation, because people are just like when you're on Amazon or when you're on Target and you're reading reviews on a product, people are doing that about your company. So it's very important to remember that.
Definitely.
So continue to invest in your branding. We're all jumping online on social media to read more about our products and read more about the companies that we work with. So keep that in mind. Perception is everything, and if you don't necessarily have visibility online, that could definitely hurt with how candidates are responding to your ads. Touched a little bit earlier on the fast and efficient hiring process. So that's probably one thing that hurts employers the most, and we see this is the long application process, where people they do it from their phones and it may not be mobile friendly, and then they just end up backing out of the application and canceling the process completely. So I definitely advise you to have a short application process, or something quick that you're able to effectively grasp the candidate's contact information and then provide them that first touch or that first call. And I think once they apply with you, keeping in contact with them, confirming you received their resume, give them a timeline that they would hear back from you, just so they are aware of the opportunities and the results of their interview. Also focusing on candidate experience, in the hiring process, you should talk about your career growth opportunities, training, the benefits of working for your company. Because my guess is a lot of the people that you're interviewing, they probably have multiple interviews set up that week. So you don't save the great information about your company for a later time. Make sure you're bringing that to the forefront right away. What you do to continue to help grow their career and stay, of course, be a long-term team member with your company. That's what we're looking for right now. Touched a little bit on the salary and benefits. Everyone really wants to know salary up front. These days, benefits are very important too. So get creative. We're even talking about doing this internally is different, birthday PTO, flexible schedules, if that makes sense for your business, being able to offer some volunteer time off for your team members if they're passionate about volunteering or whatever it may be, that makes sense for your culture. Get creative. It doesn't have to be the standard health, IRA, that type of thing, retirement. It could be something creative that makes you stand out. And then definitely, like I said, in 2020, start building a path or investing in upskilling opportunities and training within your company. That will help. All of those things will help build the foundation of recruiting and combating the candidate-driven market.
Yeah, I agree, Erin. That's what really the rest of this conversation is really all about. So let's talk about how we can follow through with all of this. So really want to talk about the importance of upskilling and why we want to do this for our teams. So really, it centers around the nature of our jobs and the jobs that our companies are shifting. So digital technology, automation means new roles requiring new skills. So, this should be a priority, not only for IT. I think a lot of people's mind go straight to IT, but it's really across the organization as the technology is really trickling into all parts of our businesses. HireLevel works with a lot of warehouse and distribution centers, and we see this all the time with the required skills that they are looking for with warehouse associates. A lot of times now, whenever I'm talking with clients, they're asking if our employees have computer skills because they are going to be doing some simple data entry or stuff like that, even while they're on the floor of the warehouse. So also, I think it's really interesting too, like your team wants to continually learn and develop their skills to stay relevant in the workplace. And a lot of times they don't have the time to invest in upskilling outside of work. You know, they have families just like, you know, I do, Erin does, everybody. Maybe they even have a second job or a part-time job and they're waiting tables in the evenings to pick up some extra money. But they really look to their employer for support in this area. And I think especially if these skills are going to come into play while they're on the job. So the truth is also that training fuels motivation. And we're seeing that this is true in employee engagement with our clients as well. So whenever the training is really good and engaging these employees, retention is increased. Employees, when they have the right skill for the job and they're being supported by their employer, they're not feeling that burnout that sometimes comes with a little bit of tenure. They're just truly thankful for the investment that their employer's making to them. So it's boosting that employee morale that improves loyalty for their employer. So we're seeing that not only with our customers, but internally as well. So when it comes to recruitment, we've talked about a couple of these things, but again, we cannot stress enough time to fill. Filling vacant positions faster is just so important, not only for you, but the candidates that you're trying to attract as well. So, you know, that moves us into how to attract them and the top talent. You know, you need to tell them what your competitive advantage is and why they would want to come work for you. What are you willing to invest in new employees? And I think, you know, put it out there and promote that to start attracting people to apply. And then you pair that with a quick and easy application process, and it's a recipe for success to really getting that top talent into your organization. So I think also whenever you're looking at all of these things, it allows you to hire for soft skills because you'll train for the hard and technical skills that you really need. Especially as we're seeing today with technology changing so fast, you're going to have to do that. So, Erin, I was thinking last night whenever I was, you know, going over everything, this made me think about a speaker that I saw last week at a luncheon, and they were talking about how this business owner was discussing training employees, and business owner said, I don't have to train my employees, their parents do it. And I think what he really meant by that was that he is hiring those soft skills that you don't train. People either have them or that they don't. And if they don't have them by the time they get to you, you know, you probably need to look for that for the next candidate. So I thought that was interesting and really timely for our conversation today. So again, upskilling boosts that bottom line, and looking at this as an easier way to upskill your current employees versus recruiting and training for new team members. It's more cost effective. Not only is it the right thing to do with investing in people who have invested in your organization, but you know, training those folks is good for them. It's good for your bottom line as well. So again, boosts morale and increases that engagement within your organization by those team members when they feel more valued. So of course, turnover in hiring, we all know, is really expensive. And in my experience as a salesperson, I compare it to keeping current clients is a lot cheaper than bringing in new clients. Obviously, we want to bring in new clients, but keeping those current clients is super, super important. And we see the same thing with our employees. So I think it's interesting and just a really good synergy throughout all of the business.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you guys on the call today may be wondering, or maybe you're already aware, why is upskilling and training and all of these things all of a sudden so important, or why are we hearing more and more about it? And I can definitely even feel this in my role, is it's because the way we work is changing so quickly. We have new technology constantly kind of thrown at us. We have different things to learn, different opportunities to, grow our businesses and, grow our, expertise within our roles. So I think that's why we're talking about this today, is because it's just changed so drastically in the last couple of years with, innovations and changes. So let's jump into some actual takeaway ideas of what you can do as a company to upskill your team, easy and cost effective, and also some items we do here at HireLevel that we have experience with firsthand. So we do a lot of lunch and learn training sessions where we do provide lunch. It's planned. Some of our lunch and learns are mandatory. Some are optional. So it is nice to give people that option. Obviously, learning in the workday and kind of during working hours could be hard for some that live kind of a fast-paced, busy work schedule. So providing that time for scheduled lunch and learns on a monthly recurring basis, so they know what they can plan ahead to attend those, we have found value in that. Also, mentoring and shadowing others in the company. So we do this a lot, and this kind of goes back to cross training and having your team members kind of rotate with different company subject matter experts. But this is also another way to, it really provides another set of knowledge and skills to your other team members. And one thing I would definitely recommend, and we do this as a company, is we're big on really having a training schedule template. So that's something that we can work off of for certain positions. So we're not always recreating the wheel. So we embed the mentoring and shadowing and subject matter expert kind of cross training. That's already embedded in our 6-week training program. So it's something that we are already doing, is having our team sit with other people in departments and different areas of the company. So it's just a standard for us. Also, adopting or having the capabilities for virtual learning. So not everything has to be done sitting at a desk or in the same office. If you have people across the company that are sitting in different areas of your business, different states, different locations, whatever that looks like for you, we have adopted with the correct technology and conferencing materials, really a great setup for virtual learning. So I can train team members in our in Indiana locations and vice versa, and it works really well for us. And it's taken us a couple years to really get good at it, but once you get the hang of it and provide a great experience on both ends, it's a great way to kind of mix and mingle who's training and kind of cut down on some of the travel too.
Mm-hmm.
Also, with us, we work with a lot of different technologies and online solutions. So a lot of our vendors and companies that we work with for these technology solutions, they do offer web-based videos with quizzes and exercises. So if you're a company that has different software that you use, different tools and technology, tap into those resources. And use those video training tools. You don't always have to have a live person. If your resources are kind of short on, who can train on a certain topic, you can use the short web-based videos, developing an exercise or a quiz, just to kind of measure the intake of that information. And we have found that as being also a great way to kind of extend our training on some of our technology stuff. Mm-hmm. And there's always the option, not everyone across your entire company, they're not going to know everything. So there's always an option to provide your team members a tuition reimbursement assistance. So if the skills that they're needing go outside the organization's capabilities, I would definitely recommend looking into some online programs Sometimes there are short classes at community colleges, training programs, certifications, and that type of thing, where they can go and learn a skill, become certified, and it's typically done outside of working hours, of course, but providing that flexibility and that reimbursement or tuition reimbursement to your staff can reap great benefits.
So, Erin, what types of soft skills or transferable skills could companies and recruiters start searching for or really put a heavier focus on?
Yeah, so I know, Breck, you talked earlier about the speaker that you heard saying that, that your parents should train on the soft skills piece. And kind of what we'll look at as a company is, the soft skills are reliability and consistency. So coming into work every day, not calling in, they understand the expectations of their position and, just a true doer. The skill sets that we see a lot, that especially the growing skill sets are more the like forklift and light shipping and receiving. A lot of the influx of the positions that we are seeing are due to the Amazons of the world and distribution and online type of stuff, and even automation. Engineers that are able to support even the warehouses and that type of thing. So it's ever growing and changing for sure. I think too, part of the soft skills discussion should also be finding an ideal culture fit for your company. So, making that part of your interview process too is asking them questions about their passions, what they want in a workplace culture, just to make sure they're going to be enthusiastic about their work. And then goes back to, work ethic and being able to exceed expectations in today's workplace. So we read a survey and found that prospective seasonal workers specifically, they really favored flexible schedules and wanted to take in as many hours as they can during the seasonal holidays, and they would prefer to work more hours over high pay. Just the fact of that criteria in the survey. So it's really interesting that we found that people are wanting to work, and this time of the year we see it too because we're very busy with seasonal employment opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see, soft skills like these really laying a strong foundation for a great trainable employee to then pick up those more technical skills. So but after you hire for the soft skills, it's now really up to us as the employer to invest in the new hire training, but not only new hire training, it's ongoing training. That's something here at HireLevel that we really focus strongly on, and I really value in my employer, is keep continuing to invest in me. So having that continuous learning and development program, and I want to talk about different types of training that we're doing here as well. So goes along well with what Erin's been speaking about too, with role playing. Who in your organization is a subject matter expert in the certain piece of training that you're seeing that is needing improved upon, and then get them to role play with either newer employees who you are upskilling, or maybe employees who are looking to expand their skill set. We do this all the time. We have a lot of really great tenured employees who are even wanting to learn from people who are newer in the organization and have different experiences than those of us who have been here for a long time. So I think you can really look at it both ways. We do a lot of question and answer sessions, brainstorming, and I think it's important to, at those sessions, those question and answer sessions, make sure to let everybody know, like, this is a dialogue, it's a discussion, it's not just a, one person asking the questions and another person providing the answers, because we can all learn from each other, and you only know what you know, and everybody else, like I said, has those different experiences that can be helpful and teach us something also new. We do a lot of books here too at HireLevel. Those can be either from a leadership perspective, customer service, sales, emotional intelligence is leading to that soft skill piece that we've been talking about. And generally they're small. They take not a whole lot of time to get through. A lot of times too, we'll kind of do them as a group. Like, okay, so week 1, you're going to read chapter 1 and 2, and then at the end of the week, maybe on Friday, we'll all go over it together and talk about a couple different takeaways that each of us have had. It's a good way to get through a book quickly, but really hold on to and grasp that valuable information. Something else we do a lot of is seminars, different events that we go to, conferences. We attend, being in staffing, of course, we attend a lot of HR conferences and events, and are taking notes and really grasping onto the information that the speakers are presenting about, and then bringing that back to the internal organization and sharing it with everyone. So, everybody in higher level in the organization can benefit from that. So, of course, we also have certifications, and that kind of goes to that continuous learning. Whenever you've been with the organization for over a year, we do a certified staffing professional, we do certified consultants. So something that we found really valuable, and transferring that knowledge to our clients has been helpful. So if there's certain things that you guys are looking to improve with those things in your organizations, reach out to us, because we can kind of help with that too, and reach out to some of our resources and see what would be relevant in your field as well. So there's definitely, as these things are coming into play and developing within your organization, a lot of stuff required to make it successful and definitely be prepared for. So of course, the number one thing is just time and labor. All of this training takes manpower. It's hard. Even just a webinar takes, a lead in each of your offices. You need to have the trainer who is prepared and ready to take questions. And generally, even after a webinar, there will be post questions and post training once those pieces start to be implemented into the organization. And then also just kind of like a lead person to organize all of these moving pieces. Erin can probably speak well to that, because she's a lot of times the person at higher level who, coordinates these things for us as one of our directors. So it's a lot of
Yes, it takes time, it does. And, I think the big takeaway for today for you all on the phone is not getting overwhelmed with the process, and more developing like a roadmap, because you'll notice the things that we talked about today it's not going away. It's going to continue to be relevant for years to come. So just be patient with the process, and even ask us for help.
Yeah, absolutely. Something else that is probably of the utmost importance is the employees that you're training. They've got to have the buy-in. They have to want to do this. And, talking about the benefits of upskilling and everything with your team can show them the importance of this. And we've done this a lot too, where we kind of nominate like a lead person for the training. And so it's somebody who's in the day-to-day of our business, and they take ownership of the training, and then their peers see them taking ownership, and it's become like a great process, and just kind of goes across our organization really well. Whenever we have kind of a lead person, they become that subject matter expert and just naturally go into that role. So another thing to consider, and of course be prepared for, is just the resources and logistics of training. What materials do you need to create? Do you have the right
Seems like we're having some technical difficulties. Is anyone else having trouble hearing? If you have the capability to chat or in the questions function, please feel free to use that. It seems that I've lost audio or we have lost Breck. I'm not sure. All right, give us just a second. I'm not sure what's happening. All right, I apologize for that. So it looks like Breck is actually sitting in our Edwardsville office and she has lost internet connection. So give us a couple minutes and we will get right back up with you all. All right, thank you. Looks like they're just having difficulties with their internet. We'll give her about another minute, a couple more minutes, and then we'll proceed. So while we're waiting on Breck to get back up, a couple things that she highlighted with training and the labor that goes with this is definitely some coordination. And I think one thing to keep in mind as you think about ideas as we're on the call today of developing your own programs or the importance of this or kind of where this falls in line with your company goals, just remembering that it doesn't happen overnight. And one of the things that I would recommend if you are interested in starting such a program is just to lay out like a roadmap, a timeline, set goals for what you want to do within training with your company. You can't jump off the deep end and be ready to go and train on every position within your company, but prioritize your training schedule, your upskilling program, and just go from there so you're not trying to tackle it all at once. All right, Breck, it looks like you're back.
I'm back. Sorry, everybody, if we lost connection, so I apologize. Let's see. Did you take over for me?
I did. So, I'm just going to leave it into how HireLevel can help. So, I'm going to jump right into today just how HireLevel can help. And, like I was talking about before, it's not something that happens overnight. This is a planned process. And my advice to you is just to get started. There's no right or wrong answer. I think it's just kind of learning, use resources online, use us as a resource, and just get started with your training and upskilling programs. That's the best recommendation I can give you. So you might be wondering on how HireLevel can help. The about our resources in the company and our experience is that we can go farther together. It's hard to tackle some of these items on your own, especially if you don't have experience. So let us lighten that load, partner with us on your recruiting, partner with us on helping retain employees and team members, because that's our expertise. We can do on recruiting and vetting candidates and, preparing candidates for the interview or and even coaching, and you can focus on your business and your training programs and retaining your current employees, and we can focus on growing your workforce with candidates. As Breck and I talked this morning, we are over time have become training and, having resources and materials. We use checklists. We've been in business for 25 years, so we have kind of tried and true ways that we've tested and come to adopt over time. Breck, 6-week training schedule. We're pretty sticklers on that, and having resources developed and templates, so you're not having to recreate the wheel every time that you have a new hire. We are definitely happy to share those ideas. Another great thing about the resources we have as a company is that we can host customized pre-screens. So basically, we're able to do group interviews tailored to your company, setting expectations from day one of what they can expect their job to be within your company, what policies and procedures you have. And we have a kind of a vast array of candidates that are primed and ready to go to work. So I think that's where we can become your partner in this process, not only recruiting and attracting these candidates, but retaining and developing a long-term partnership through training opportunities and whatever that could look like for you. So for the last few minutes here, I'm going to pass it off to Breck, and she's going to talk a little bit about our Peak to Prep program. This is just a kind of an informal initiative, a thing that we started, and we want to share that with you today to wrap up.
Awesome. So HireLevel, we work with several large clients that really see a lot of hiring during the holidays in the fourth quarter and require a large volume of employees. So we took a look at this, and we really see it as an opportunity for candidates with limited experience to develop their skills during this finite amount of time that they have with this employer, and really rise to the top of the candidate pool for year-round employment. So HireLevels come up with this initiative that will recognize our peak season or holiday season top performers, and we want to select the top 10% to be, into this program and, really inducted, I guess, into Peak to Prepped. So these candidates will have access to our recruiters to help create a professionally built resume, and then of course interview preparation as well. So with these developed skills, after completing the peak season, the holiday time, the goal is to have these candidates land full-time employment jobs with really great companies just like you guys on the phone. So we really are here to make that great connection and focus on that upskilling of somebody with more limited experience. Use that temporary assignment to improve and gain some of those skills to then land a full-time job. So,
Breck, can you touch on kind of the why we started this program? I know it's been something talked about and have tossed around the idea, but why this process or informal program is kind of taking place.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been doing some reading, and I was seeing, this kind of as a synergy. We're really wanting to invest in our candidates, and I was reading I think it was last night, about how Amazon, it seems like Amazon is a theme here, but they are investing and doing training for candidates that they don't even know will ever actually work for them, but the goal is that they will. And that's really what we're looking at too. We're just really want to invest in the candidates that live in our communities. And, like I said earlier, we're seeing people who are using these assignments to improve their skills. We have over 100 easily people that are ready to go to work on their next assignment whenever the holiday season is over. And we already know that they understand what quality work means, and they've been trained, they've already been upskilled. So why not use it as an opportunity to see those candidates and give them a good job, but also, you know that you'll have somebody that is skilled then in your workforce now. So I want to tell you guys a little bit more about what we're doing with this initiative. So we're matching employers' openings to the skill sets of specific candidates who are currently working in a peak or holiday assignment. And we anticipate entering them into this program that we've developed from Peak to Prepped. So we've got some different criteria that we've put together that we're really looking at our candidates' skills and work ethic. And using this criteria, we're going to identify the top candidates that we currently have working during the holiday assignment. So this is a little bit more about the criteria that we are looking at. So of course, reliability and being consistent. You know, these are candidates who show up to work every single day. They're not calling off. They're showing up for their shift on time. They're picking up additional hours if the client's asking for volunteers. They're just somebody that you know you can rely on, and you know they're going to be at work. It's not a surprise or anything like that. They're just good employees. Skill set also, we're looking at people who are improving throughout this fourth quarter time. And we have this, you know, uptick in the fourth quarter with different types of clients. So we have candidates in forklift drivers, picking and packing, shipping and receiving, assembly. You know, these are common in the warehouse and manufacturing facilities that we work in. Customer service, call center candidates as well. And all of these folks are really great with their time management, and they're reaching the quotas that the client is setting for them. So another criteria that we look at is just an ideal culture fit. And what we mean by that is that their coworkers really enjoy working with this person. They're just somebody that is good to be around. They're helpful to other employees as well. They have a great attitude, and they're excited and enthusiastic about their work. They just really care. And you don't see that we probably don't see that as much as we really like to, but whenever we do, we really want to recognize those candidates and promote from within. So again, we've been talking about pretty much the whole theme of this is work ethic. And what we're looking at is the production numbers that they are hitting. They're meeting or exceeding the expectations that the client has set for them. So I want to talk also a little bit about the preparation of the candidates for full-time employment. And we're really setting those expectations. And if we can help in these at all, we're doing that. And, you know, partnering with different organizations or making some calls and just helping them navigate what it means to go from being a seasonal worker who now has really great skills to becoming that full-time employee. So these are things like consistent childcare, you know, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, whatever time. That's not something you have to worry about because they've got something set in place for their kids. Of course, making appointments outside of working hours. They have great, reliable transportation, and you know, just the continuation of the criteria that we talked about, being a consistent employee and having a great work ethic, making sure that that just is a standard for them moving forward. So another thing that I think is cool also is we're working with and talking with the managers of after their program is complete, we'd like for them to create and write some referral letters for the top employees, and then we'll be able to pass those along to the future employers who are looking at hiring these folks.
All right, thank you, Breck. Yeah, I'm really excited just to hear about, you know, this thought process with, as we have a bulk of candidates that are ready to go after what we call our peak season, our holiday hiring season. You know, us hearing that we as a company, HireLevel, are investing in their continuing relationship with us and wanting to pass on their skills to our clients. And so I'm excited to see kind of what comes of this and really how we can help other employers find these great candidates. So really now's the time for those of you on the call, ask questions. You can type, you are muted, but you can type in the question box if there's anything that you have further questions on. You can also reach out to me directly. I'm going to give you the easy email address. It's hello@HireLevel.com. And you can reach me directly. I can put you in touch with Breck if you have specific questions for her. But we would be happy to continue this conversation. We're about out of time here, taking the full hour, but we would definitely love to connect with you and just share a little bit of expertise. As you know, Breck and I have both been a big part of HireLevel and our training programs and working with our clients to do the same. So that's, if there's no questions, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I would like to share some information on our upcoming High Notes program in November. So on November 13th, we are hosting a High Notes that's going to be geared towards the recreational use of marijuana, kind of what that looks like for your workplace. This will be a great learning experience for you as the new Illinois laws take effect in January. So if you're interested to get that invite, if you don't already receive our information, again, you can email me directly and I can send that to you at hello@HireLevel.com. You definitely don't want to miss that one. And we appreciate you spending your morning with us.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
All right, bye.